everyone, and welcome to the Trending in My Life podcast, episode 65. This week, Conkers. And to those of you in different countries that don't know that slang term for horse chestnuts, they're the things that have been falling off the trees a lot in this September for us. And they're those lovely sort of polished-y, brown, shiny things lying on the ground. And I'll put that as the photo, a bag full of them and some leaves and things as the picture for this podcast, so you'll know what I mean. Anyway, I thought I'd call it that because this morning I went a walk in the neighbourhood in a different direction. This is a new neighbourhood for us because we only moved in 3 weeks ago and I'm still exploring. I googled where my nearest sort of small convenience store was, and it was up a hill not far from home, but in a direction I'd not been to and not explored before. So off I went, and as I was walking along I thought what a lovely fall decoration everything lying on the ground would make, which I'm hoping to do later today. Not quite sure what to do. I've done a fall wreath before, not in a circle but in a triangle. And I'm wondering about doing sort of a garland to go over the fireplace, or maybe something to hang outside. It's still rattling around in my brain, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. But yes, the floor, the ground was covered in red leaves, yellow leaves, brown leaves. There were curled up edges to them. There was all the horse chestnuts, there was acorns. There was so much on the ground, and to be fair, it was a very windy night, so a lot of it will have come down. And it was like inspiring me to pick it up and put it in a bag and take it home and create something out of it. I must apologise for my cold. It started a couple of days ago, and it's now reached the stage. I've gone through the my nose won't stop running stage, and now it's dried up a bit, but I feel like I'm going into sinusitis. It's one of those things that just lately, or in the last 2-3 years, when I get a cold, it's always followed by sinusitis. Now, for some people, they get a cold and then they get a cough, which lasts forever. So it's different people and how your body reacts to different things. But I can feel at the top of my nose this sort of pressure right by my eyes, and I feel like that's where this is headed, which isn't good because it's always very difficult to get rid of. I find if I take sinusitis tablets, they just dry my throat up, which makes me cough, and it still doesn't go away. Quite often sort of inhaling steam helps a lot, so I'm going to try that a bit later on, see how I go with that. I am getting over it reasonably quickly, but because it's the third day now. But they do say it takes a good week to clear a cold. You only think you get over it in 3 days. So we'll see. I've been quite lucky that I've been home for those 3 days. So it's given me a chance to rest up a bit. Not that I'm very good at that. I do still tend to go out. Like I said, I got up this morning and I was Googling the convenience store and off I went. But actually I was going to the convenience store to buy some soup. So it's all kind of related. Anyway, I had a lovely walk. The sun was shining and I was going slowly. I wasn't rushing, and it was giving me a chance to explore the neighbourhood a bit. I found a park I didn't know that was there, and the map in the park showed that there was a woodland quite close by as well, and some water. I don't know whether it was a pond or a lake, or I think probably a pond. It wasn't very big on the map. But yeah, so I learnt something more about the neighbourhood. But getting back to all these lovely autumn, fall bits and pieces on the ground, the seeds, and there were some of those, I think they're sycamore seeds, where they join together a bit like helicopter blades, and if you hold them in the air, they'll go round and round and round until they get to the ground. I picked up some of those as well. Yeah, I can't wait to do that. My problem is that I don't know where my glue is because we still have boxes to unpack. So that could be an issue, but I'm hoping not. Because I think when you do that, when you pick up things outside like that to create something, you really need to do it the same day, not keep them in a bag for a couple of days. You need to have them and glue them and create something the same day. Anyway, back to this walk. When I went to the convenience store, the lady who ran it said good morning as soon as I went in, which is always very nice. You don't always get that when you go in a small shop. And she wasn't following me around or pressuring me to buy anything. She was busy putting things on shelves, but she came to the counter when I did. But I did notice it wasn't a very well stocked shop. There was a lot of emptiness on the shelves, and it might be that they're due a delivery on Monday morning to stock them up or something. But I did think it was a very friendly, neighbourhoody type store. And there was another one a couple of doors down, and I thought, well, I'm going to check that out as well. And when I went in that one, I noticed straight away that the prices were very much higher. They wanted like £4.50 for 2 cans of soup, which is really expensive. So I think out of the 2 stores, I would definitely go again to the first one that I went in. I also don't like. Have you ever been in one of these little stores where they've seemed to have built the counter up higher than normal level, so that the people who are serving you are sort of high up looking down on you? I really don't like that. I mean, I'm quite short anyway. I'm only 5'2.5". So I especially don't like it when people, sort of craning your neck to see people above you. I just don't like that. Anyway, started walking back again, picking more of these bits and pieces up, and then there was a woman across the road walking her dog, and she was looking at me, and she wasn't waving, but she was sort of spreading her arms out towards the ground. And after she'd done it for a bit, I thought, what, does she want me to go over there? Is there something that I should see? And anyway, I crossed the road, and there was lots and lots of conkers on the ground by her. And she'd walked off a little bit, but she came back to speak to me, and she said, "Oh, are you picking those up for the spiders?" And I went, "Spiders? How does that work then?" And because I explained I was picking them up for making a fall wreath or, a fall autumn decoration. Anyway, she said to me, "Oh yeah, if you put a bowl with conkers in, those are horse chestnuts, and make sure you put some of the shell in, because they come out of like spiky shells when they drop to the ground. And again, you'll see them on the picture." And she says, yes, you put a bowl and the conkers, and you have to have a small amount of the shell in. And she says it stops you getting big spiders. And I thought, well, I've never heard of that before, but I was fascinated, and I thought, I have to try this. And it is this time of year. Autumn is that time of year where you see big spider webs sort of between tree branches and then a spider right in the middle of them and stuff like that. But she said the big black swan spiders that you get in the house. And I thought, that's brilliant. I'm going home. I'm doing this. So, and I guess I can't tell you how it turned out, because if it works, I won't see any. So, but it's certainly worth a try because it doesn't cost you anything. But yeah, I was fascinated, and I thought, how nice, you're walking along the street and you find someone and they're giving you a helping hand and sort of pointing out conkers to because you're picking some up, and then they give you some really good advice, and I thought, it's just a really nice neighbourhood to live in where people do things like that. So yeah, I was really chuffed this morning. I thought it was a a lovely walk, and like I said, I need to be creating things, but first of all I have to find the glue. The thing is, used to keep the glue in the old house under the sink where used to keep a hammer and nails and stuff like that. So it would have got packed with those things, but I didn't pack those things, so I'm not absolutely sure where it is. But yeah, I'll keep looking and then hopefully find some. But weather is being very, very unpredictable because last week there was a lot of rain, but heavy showers and then sunshine and heavy showers. But this week the temperatures have been really strange. It's been like only 8 or 10 degrees first thing in the morning, but then was it yesterday? Yesterday it went up to 24 degrees. It was insane. I was like, what's going on here, And I've already got sort of my warmer clothes out and not really wearing my summery clothes, ready to pack those away now. And then the weather starts doing silly things like that. And September has quite often been almost like an extension of summer. But this year, there was a definite cut-off as in early September when very much colder weather came in and lots of rain and wind and stuff. And it was like, okay, it's autumn, it's fall, that's it kind of thing. So I don't know what it'll do this week, but I suppose that's a wait and see scenario. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend, and come back next time. Bye for now.